So it's Thanksgiving week and the market is giving us a little bit of green on a Monday. Is this a bad omen? So today in this stream, you're going to see the key levels Bitcoin needs to hold this week so that we don't get absolutely rinsed. You're going to leave here with altcoin setups long and short as well. Monday, let's go. Guys, and remember, as always, hit the like, hit the bell, and hit the subscribe. Are you ish? What does that say? Are you ish, or are you bullish, or are you bullerish? Is the real question. There's Mr.
Bullerish. Heading into Thanksgiving week, gotta be bullerish.
Yeah, you got to be. There's no other option. Okay, we got Chaos in the house. He's got some indicated things for us. He's going to tell us what's what and if we're going to be long or short. So we're going to bring him up in a couple of minutes. I know he's got some near, which is actually looking pretty good at the moment. So we're going to talk about that. And he actually mentioned to me that I might have to long the top of a couple of things. So I'm prepared to do anything. Okay, so you'll let me know. Okay, if something's happening, just jump in. Okay, let's go. Let's talk banter bubbles. What is rain? 96%? What? No idea what that is. Okay. Pump making a miraculous recovery. For those of you that follow me on X, you will note that I've been tracking Pump on X for you guys, and that is now on track to our Kansas City shuffle target at 28. So I'm going to take you guys to that one as well. ENA, CAS is 3% up. What is going on there? I thought that thing was long dead and gone, and you can see NEAR is doing a couple of things. So let's jump into Bitcoin. Let's see what the story is at the moment. And right now, yeah, we are definitely not out of the woods in terms of what we're looking at right here. You can see in terms of today's playbook on the 1 hour time frame, I gave the hackers the local bull zone earlier today, looking for a reaction here and a local bounce off this 85k to 84,300 zone, and you can see they came in and they just tapped the top of that thing, and at the same time they have given us a 1 hour reversal on the oscillator. So it's a good start, but you guys know my sentiments here. If we do get a little bounce on the 1 hour, sometimes we have to wait for divergence, and unfortunately that comes with a new low. Now again, we don't want to bring too much negative energy here, but if we start dropping lower from this current region, we might start opening up our weekend low, which is sitting at 83,450. So this is going to be a big one for me in terms of a 618. We know Bitcoin loves a 618, so 83,400, and then our weekend low at 83,400. So this is our emergency handbrake zone in case the market starts falling over during the course of the show or later on today. Dylan, your friend Happiness just called the cycle over. Okay, well, I suppose that makes me inverse bullish, I guess. I don't know. I mean, he's right quite often, I suppose, like, to his credit. I mean, it's just not the type of energy we want to hear right now. Okay, we got Bitcoin trying to break a VWAP. Can someone give us a break on a Monday and just send this thing to 88,700? So in terms of upside targets here, you can see my big zone that I was covering for the hackers last night in our Sunday banger, 88,760. This is still in play for us. So if we pump into that area, this is a high probability next rejection zone. Okay, so if you are feeling bearish later on and we pump into that zone, that is where you can look for shorts, 88,700, and then we've got 91k as a nice beautiful short zone with some backup on a VWAP over there as well. Okay, so there's the full ping pong zones. I don't necessarily want to go lower than the 618 and the weekend low. That is my key level for the bulls. Now if we do go lower than that, we're going to start opening up the Bitcoin 3-day chart, and there's going to be some dark places there that we might have to go and visit. Okay, so let's get into the news. Let's get into things. We'll start with some lickies here at the moment, and I must say I actually refreshed my screen like 3 times. You know when you get liquidated on your app and you refresh the screen because the money's gone. Okay, and I was doing that on this lickies thing because I couldn't believe 236 million only. What is going on a Monday? We've had a pump. I don't know.
I mean, did everybody decide not to play because it was Sunday to Monday and the week opening, or is it because the Americans are on vacation already? Many Americans take the entire week off. All the kids are off for the whole week. So lots of people save vacation time. This is a big holiday for them. Like biggest Christmas, if not bigger.
Yeah, I mean, we know in life you can't trust a weekend pump, and I'm sure you know you can't trust something else when you get a bit older. But anyway, there we go, 236 million in lickies at the moment. Everyone's on holiday. Now, we know that men only want one thing, and this is basically a photo of me this weekend when we started getting our pump. You know, I was feeling quite good about myself. So nice to get the move that we wanted. The question is it going to be a continuation play for us? And, you know, so is that possibly the bottom? So, I mean, Who bought at 81K? Let me know. Did you guys buy? Bitcoin's, what is Bitcoin? 87K at the moment. So
I'm not touching that crap.
I ain't buying that shit. What do you mean? Wait till it's 126 though. Then we're all aping. So look, a 10% move or whatever so far on Bitcoin from those lows, guys. Remember, extreme fear, extreme stress, that normally offers some kind of buy opportunity. Now, here's the bad news. Digital asset funds saw 1.9 billion in outflows last week, pushing the 4-week total to almost $5 billion. Okay, so that is why there was so much pressure, all these types of things. And again, maybe that is local bottom, maybe. Okay, we're going to look at the 3-day chart before we start shouting things like that. In terms of this week, obviously it's Thanksgiving week, and we saw statistically on the Sunday banger last night, one of our community members dropped in some stats on what the S&P does during Thanksgiving week. And it was, 60-70%
chance that we pump based on historical data.
Okay, so 64% of the time it works every single time if you go long on the Thanksgiving week. So what can ruin this for us? US PPI inflation, okay, that's a problem. Retail sales, so jobless claims definitely can cause problems for us. Core PCE inflation on Wednesday, and then Thanksgiving break while everyone gets rinsed, I guess, like if it's bad news. So it's not really... I mean, it's the most important week in crypto since last week.
Of course, again, especially with Thanksgiving. Markets close Thanksgiving. I think we've got a half day on Black Friday as well. So we've got some low volume metrics to worry about here too.
It's going to be a ride.
Most important week ever.
That's all I'm going to, that's all I'm going to say. Most important week in crypto this week. Okay, until next week. Okay, I ain't buying that shit. Okay, so global inflation rates. Here's the issue. Okay, so we got PPI coming this week. We already know US is feeling a bit of pressure on CPI here. So trend versus prior reading, they are higher at the moment. You can look at all the different countries here at the moment, but the S&P, it's cooking. Okay, things are looking good, and I mean it's such a classic move. So I gave you guys Nvidia long and S&P long that I went long on Friday with you guys. Okay. Guess which one I closed, and guess which one I left on.
You closed this one, did you?
I closed the S&P.
Oh,
okay?
Shit.
So I closed the S&P sort of down, 6640. It's ripping. Okay, so that long is cooking. I would just say, guys, if you are long, just be a little bit careful. You've got big resistance coming here. That's the 50. And you can see it's been support the whole time. It could be resistance coming in. Okay, so don't forget to TP a little bit every now and again. And then in terms of NVIDIA, well, I'm holding on to it. But, I mean, this thing's now hardly moving at the moment. Well. Yeah, and I had a nice size on the S&P. So NVIDIA, I do want to see the push. I'm not looking beyond 185. That looks like about the peak for me on NVIDIA for now. And then we sort of reassess where we are in terms of that. So in terms of a couple of other things that I got going on, this Coinbase has exploded quite nicely, obviously linked to a little bit of positivity in the crypto market. There's NVIDIA left, and Circle finally has turned green. After sending me to some dark mental places, Circle is making a comeback. Okay, so let's take a look at Circle as well. And then obviously, guys, most importantly, MicroStrategy that rinsed me so bad last week, okay? And it's all their fault, okay? It's all JP Morgan, BlackRock, and Vanguard's fault, okay? I need someone to blame when I make a mistake and I get rinsed, and I must blame someone, so it's their 100%. Fault, okay? Maybe it's even 𝗕𝗏𝗆𝗆's fault at the moment. So these guys all sold, okay? They were selling tons at the moment, but Michael Saylor basically says, and does he have an option to say anything but that he's not concerned? Imagine he came out and he said, I'm
panicked.
Concerned. I'm really concerned about this. I mean,
this is going to destroy my company. The worst news ever.
So, guys, I mean, I'm not going to play the video. You can watch the video, but Bitcoin Therapist has posted this one. So let's take a look at MicroStrategy. I'm not actually concerned. Well, I would be if I was down so deep. So 152, guys, that still remains my next reaction zone. I'm trying to sit on my hands as hard as possible. I do believe MicroStrategy will give us a hard snapback bounce. This thing is incredibly shorted. There's going to be a squeeze. Don't think there's not going to be a dead cat bounce on this thing. It is coming. I'm trying very patiently not to go again until it hits 153. Okay, so that is my current game plan. Yeah, I mean, it's going to pump at some point. It's coming. it's just a matter.
There's this whole GameStop pump they're trying to organize on crypto Twitter there to try and pump it up. We'll see if they have any luck. That's a lot of money they need to move the needle on that one, though.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have a problem. And I mean, this whole JP Morgan short drama, it's not actually true, or it was like a nothing burger anyway. And Tom Lee, I mean, we're gonna deal with Tom Lee just now. Don't you worry. We are gonna deal with Tom Lee in a couple of minutes. So there goes Coinbase. So level number 1, it is holding at the moment. Anybody trading Coinbase, you can see like it's got a lot of work to do. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not kid ourselves at the moment. But at the end of the day, like Coinbase is making money. They are doing sorts of things. And obviously when the sentiment is bad in crypto, it rolls over. But at the end of the day, sanity should prevail. And these guys are making money. So, you know, a push up to 277 doesn't seem unreasonable for me, at the current situation where we are. So again, I think we need a positive crypto market for a few days. And maybe there will be some renewed energy in Coinbase. Okay, so holding on to that one for now. Let's see what happens. And Circle, well, I mean, obviously it can go lower. Can you get, I mean, it's below, or it's now at the IPO price again. And I mean, guys, I can only see upside here. Risk reward for jumping in for this thing. I just think it makes sense. You know, even a push into 100 or something could be quite miraculous here on the Circle. It could be something good for us. Tom Lee helps me sleep at night. Why? Because he's supporting ETH. I mean, wait till he's not. Okay, we're going to talk about this now. We're going to cover it now. One more. Which one?
The Tom Lee one.
Oh, well, I've got a few Tom Lee tweets. Okay, we'll deal with it now. Okay, so gold on the 2 hour, just tracking this one. I know some of the guys wanted a little bit more gold action out of me, so we can see what's going on. Gold is chopping around in a little bit of a range. And speaking of undercarriage, Giovanni, you can see what we got going on here. Possible short at gold, 151. You're looking for a rejection over there. Alternatively, you got your next undercarriage at 4192. So those are the short zones for me on gold. Look for a pump into that area, then a possible rejection there. That could be a nice short for you. Alternatively, longs, guys, I still like this 4020. Could give you something there. Remember, all these charts that you see go straight into the Chart Hackers Discord for you guys directly after the show. Okay, they will be there waiting. And Bull Bella says 87K. Let's go. Okay. I can't even remember what the Bitcoin price was 2 minutes ago. Let's see. Where's this Bitcoin chart? There it is. Oh yeah. Okay, we're rejecting at 87K. We just need to be watchful. This is a VWAP rejection here. It's not a joke at the moment. Obviously, what I like is this the current reversal sign that you can see here. But the threat of a divergence print obviously is always a little bit concerning. Okay, are you guys ready for? Are you ready for some Black Friday deals, or do you want some more alpha? Let me know in the chats. I know some of you watch every day. You've seen the Black Friday deals, but there's some guys that haven't seen it. Let me know. Okay, I can carry on. SPX, yes, is breaking a trend. That could be interesting. I did jump into another SPX play, a possible long the top scenario here on SPX. You can see I'm pretty flat at the moment on this, guys. So if you want to get rinsed with me, you can have a look. I've got the chart coming in for you guys shortly. In fact, I need a code for my undies. That's a fact. James, can you message our retailer there and tell him we need a code for Black Friday for the undies? Okay, can you ask him quickly? We'll try and get on the show. Okay, so ETH is doing things at the moment. We got Pump really cooking nicely. I've been tracking that one on X. 𝗕𝗹𝗰𝗇, I got the long today out of the bull zone. 𝗷𝗰𝗇 did some things. Bitcoin looking aggressive again. My head short is turning red after turning very green earlier today. And I'm out of all my other short plays at the moment. So I am looking for a little bit higher here, trying not to get too ahead of myself. And you can see Fartcoin has turned nice and green here as well. That's been a nice scalp. I know the Nagel's been nailing that one from a bit further back, but yeah, I've got a little scalpy running here on Fartcoin at the moment. So we're going to cover that now. Let's just talk about Bitcoin on the higher time frame quickly, and then we're going to get into all of these altcoins. Now, Brett says this pretty much sums up the entire feed right now. Bulls and bears are all saying we're in one of these two spots. Okay, so I mean, like, this is what's going on. Okay, the bulls are saying this was 2021. Okay, we're going to chop for a few months and then we're going to rip. And the bears are saying, well, we're going to chop for a few months and then pump into rejection and go to zero. Okay, and this is the point. Like, nobody actually knows what is going to happen, and that is why I spend so much time focusing on what's in front of us today and what's the danger zone later on to the upside, and where's a nice bounce zone later on. Because if you spend your life wondering if the bear market is over, or I mean, the bear market is happening, or whatever the story is, you're just wasting mental energy, in my opinion. Okay, so you can see we've lost the key support here. I mean, but we know at some point we are going to get a bounce, and we must be ready to play that game. So in terms of Bitcoin on the 3-day, a couple of things going on. Number one, I do want to point out, and I did show you guys this last week, we've got a 3-day reversal printing here at the moment, which is generally a good start. Now, there's a couple of things obviously bothering me about BTC, and the first one being this nice, beautiful wick that we see over here from March 25 that is actually untouched at the moment. And this also ties in with a macro fib as well in that region. So the 78 down to 73K is a big area here for BTC. So my current concern is that, we might get a little green Monday and then we start reversing, and they want to bring us back into something like this before they send us a little bit higher. So that is, for me, that's big zone number one. Obviously the 77, 78 down to 73, it's a monster zone. If we do drop into that area, there's a possibility that that prints bullish divergence on the 3-day, which could give us a nice sustained move. What is a sustained move? Maybe a week or 3 to the upside on BTC, which would be well deserved for anyone who got slapped around sort of the whole of October and was part of those 1 billion per day liquidations. Okay, adult diapers keep you safe. I agree. And it also keeps you in front of your screen if you're scalping. You never have to leave. Okay, very simple game plan that. I mean, James does that all the time. I know he's addicted to those things. Okay, so guys, there's the play on BTC on the 3-day. Now, upside levels that concern me, 91,400. I just want to show you this guy again, and we're going to look at this one on the lower time frame as well, just to show you what we're dealing with. So 91,300 is a macro 236 fib. So we know immediately that's quite a strong zone, and you can see there's a nice undercarriage in that area as well. So there's a high probability if we push into that zone that we get some kind of big rejection on a 3-day time frame. Okay, and Syed loves 77, but the question is, will you buy at 77? James, will you buy at 77?
I'm not touching that shit.
Chaos, will you buy at 77?
Yeah, probably.
I ain't buying that shit.
You ready for a Black Friday deal?
Maybe it's coming. Maybe it's coming. Maybe it's coming. Maybe it's coming. Okay, so guys, there you can see 91,300, 91,400. That is a danger zone there to the upside. So let's just grab that BTC lower time frame chart again and take a look here. Where's our 91K? If we look up here, you can see there's our 786. There's our undercarriage. And there's our VWAP from the highs. Okay, so 91 is a high probability rejection zone. Remember that. If we do get that high this week, remember, if you're feeling euphoric, look at the higher time frame and just understand in context where we are here and what can actually happen to BTC. Okay, so you got that one in play. Total market cap looking good. Yes, sir.
I have a discount code for you here if you're ready for it.
Jeez, that was quick. Okay, so and what is it for? Is it for all the merch or is it just for the undies?
All the merch, 20% off your entire order.
Okay, so guys, here's a 20% off the entire order for the merch store. Okay, so you go into lordofentry.com, okay, or you go into the show description. You'll see the link there in the show description. And yeah, now's your opportunity. You want shirts, you want some hackers things, you want some caps. What do we got here? And we don't forget the short squeeze undies. I mean, these are the most
undies,
important.
Yeah.
Yeah, the short squeeze got to be the most important ones for me all the time. But you know, if you're an impatient trader, what you can do is you can wear these around the house. Your wife will love you if you wear those. Wait, sorry, this one. There it is. No, where's my win entries? Where's my win entries? Oh, there they are.
Right there, yeah, at the bottom.
Oh, there's the win entries. Okay, the wife will love that if you wear those. Okay, she'll know that you just like entries. Okay, all the time, and you're looking for the hot zones. Okay, so there you go, guys. There's your code. Can you type it in the in
there? It's on screen.
Okay, lovely. Thank you. Okay, let's get into total. So just covering total here one more time on the weekly. Why was this important for us? Well, what happened here was total was dropping into massive support for us. We got into a zone where this thing really had to bounce or cut it off. And we had the same situation with USDT dominance pushing into resistance. So when you got the whole market cap on support, you got USDT dominance at resistance, balance of probability says you got to look for longs. Okay, obviously, Sometimes it's different, and sometimes these areas break through and things like that. But if you get total on support, USDT dominance and resistance, that is typically a zone where you want to look for longs. Okay, so that is why we got the bounce there in the market, and that hopefully makes sense to you guys that were wondering what was going on when that was going down. Okay, so let's go. Let's get into some of these alts. Chaos, how are you, sir?
Hello, I'm good. How you doing?
Good. Do we have to long the top of something yet?
We've got some longing to do. Yeah, sure.
Okay, well, tell me when. Okay, I'm going to crack on here. Publicly traded Bitmine immersion buys another 28,600 ETH worth $82 million. Okay, and I was saying earlier, like, this is the type of face you make. Like, you know, when you're underwater in your position and you buy more, okay? But you know, around the corner, you're going to get a liquidation. And like, tell me you guys know that, because I'm sure if you're watching the show, you're a degen trader and you've experienced this before. But this guy is so underwater right now and he's buying more, okay? He's propping up his position, and I have no doubt there's beads of sweat running down his head while he's sleeping every night.
Add margin, drop the stop loss. It's going to hold. It's going to work this time.
It's going to be fine. It's all going to be fine. Okay. So yeah, that's what he's doing. He's underwater, but he says, no, I'm just going to buy more. And he says, if ETH doesn't hit 7,000 by the end of the year, I'll go back to North Korea. Guess who's going back to North Korea? Okay. I mean, I think it's a sure thing. I like, it's not going to 7,000. James, is it going to 7,000?
Definitely not going to happen.
Well, there you go. Tom Lee, guys, is going back to North Korea. Okay, so we'll hopefully he's allowed a phone there. I don't know how it works. Maybe he can still buy his ETH there when he's in that part of the world. Okay, let's talk things like ETH, and here we go. Major support on the 3-day, looking very similar to BTC in terms of the chart, and holding our 618 macro fit. So 2,620 is our low. That is our main support region, and basically we hold the zone. So for now, we want to see ETH flex its muscles a little bit. Maybe not enough to send someone back to North Korea, or maybe maybe to a little bit less, so that he does go back to North Korea. I don't know, but we're looking for this pump here on ETH into 3,500 at best. Okay, so somebody tell Tom Lee he needs to watch the show, and we're going to be shorting ETH at about 3.5, give or take, unless there is literally a miracle in the market. Okay, so 3.5 to 3.6 is a nice short zone for ETH if we actually get that far. Okay, and I mean, James, was that tweet real? It couldn't have been real. It was on X, right?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. The $7,000 one, no, I don't think so.
Okay, no I'm relieved for everybody. Okay, I'm relieved for everybody. Okay, so guys, 3.5 is the short zone for ETH. Let's look at it on a lower time frame, and you can see what's going on here. Keeping it super simple. When you get a nice pump in the market, what you can do is you can just map out your local bull zone on all of your altcoins, and you essentially just want to see these areas hold. If you start losing these types of zones, then you might need to start flipping your plans and things like that. But right now, you can see ETH is holding the local bull zone here, and if things go our way, we're going to get a little pop here on ETH 2,860. Maybe we get a little explosion here into the 3,000 level. So I just want you guys to understand, we bounced off the local bull zone. Everyone in the Chart Hackers Discord got this chart earlier today. They knew where the bounce zones were. They were hopefully prepped and ready, watching these charts a few hours ago. And now they are in control of their longs if they did manage to grab those longs. And now what can happen is, number one, we either reject here, 2,860, which you can see is a typical rejection zone. What I would say is just look for pressure from the market makers. Look for a possible fake out here, bang, and then a rejection. Alternatively, if there is a bit of a steam train out of the market, that is going to be your next rejection zone. So that's your next possible short zone at around 3,000 there on ETH. Okay, so just be careful. Remember, longs on good support, shorts at good resistance zones. That is kind of what you want to look at. And obviously, sometimes you get a permission slip to long the top. There's nothing wrong with longing it on occasion, but just understand what you are doing. If you are longing the top, you are typically longing a rejection zone. Okay, so Chaos, speaking of longing the top.
Speaking of which.
What is going on here? Do we need to long the top of anything yet?
I'm looking at a few things. It's not so much, it's just longs in general. You know what it is? We've come down so far, and it's been so bearish, and the downside has been so great that we get into these key zones where, in theory, stuff's looking longy. I mean, I've got a few, like even the stocks, like stocks, crypto, everything.
Well,
we're getting to a zone now.
It was looking longy on Tuesday, round trip.
Yeah.
Wednesday, round trip. Thursday, longy, round trip. So I'm hoping this longy is longy. Okay, that's kind of like what we want it to be. Now, Chaos, I think give us something to work with here. Let's see what you're trading. Let's see your charts.
Okay. I've given the guys and hackers have had loads of charts today, and I put some stuff up. I've given them Amazon as well. I think it's a really nice stock. Did you want to cover that, or should we just leave that?
We can. Bring it. Okay, right. And Thomas says 𝗬𝗰 is breaking out. So yeah, I mean, I might have that 𝗬𝗰 chart stacked in the back here. So while Chaos is fishing around, guys, just a reminder, I've got loads of alts coming for you guys. I'm actually covering Zcash, Sol, Near. We've got Pendle, we've got Link, I've got Hyperliquid, AVAX, Aster, Stock, 𝗕𝗹𝗰𝗍, Virtual, SPX. I don't know. There's so many going on here, plus whatever Chaos is bringing. So, buckle up. And we've also got some Black Friday deals for you guys. Okay, here's Chaos's chart. Let's see what's cooking here.
Okay, just a quick one. Amazon, I gave this chart earlier. And since I gave the chart, I'm like, this looks very longy. And I saw this came up literally 11, 12, 15 minutes ago, whatever it was. Amazon to invest 50 billion into AI. And that literally, it's amazing how these charts predict the news, isn't it? It's incredible. You get to a point where all of your VWAPs line up down here. We've got our quantum reactor. We've got our two bands here. It's just bouncing off the band. And lo and behold, right in this order block, in all of these points of confluence on the 200-day, Amazon goes and drops 50 billion into AI, and it bounces perfectly at this point. It's amazing how the charts predict the news, eh? It's unreal.
So have we got an entry, or is that entry bolted?
I've already given the guys in Hackers the entry. Now, to be honest with you, we have pumped a little bit from the low, 3%. The stock, you've got a potential here. The range is 15%. So it's a stock, it's not like you're going to go crazy high leverage. Or maybe you will, it depends. But for me, if you can get an entry somewhere for a lower high around the 220 region, right the way down to 215, we're talking $5 difference. It's not massive. But on so between 215 and 220, you've got your entry and your take profit. I'm looking at about 245 to 250. So it's a nice move. And this is basically an 8-to-1 trade, because the easiest point to stop out here is below this wick of 17th last Friday.
Okay, so simple exit plan, AI revival in Google. Is it pumpable? Well, you can see the level of support that he's got here. It looks like he's got VWAPs, order blocks, quantum reactors. He's got everything holding this thing together. So guys, there's a possible scalpy for you. BitGet, there is 90% fee discount trading stocks on BitGet at the moment. It's a hackers only offer that they have given to the hackers community. So if you want to trade some stocks on BitGet, go into the show description, click on the link, and you will find BitGet over there. Alternatively, BTCC is also available there for you guys as well. Okay, so thank you. Can we see some alts, because we're now into alts, and now we're going to long some tops, I hope, or short some tops. I'm open to that as well.
How would you like a range play today, sir?
Yes, sir.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, roughly 8 times at the top, and roughly, if we go back right the way back here, there was a couple back there, 2, 3, 4. We've been in this bottom zone and the top zone somewhere in the region of 12 times. The range between the two guys from middle to middle, it's a 70% move on a 1x. So this is a really nice trade. Simple trade to set up for you guys. It's on the 8 hour. This is near USDT. Grab your long tool. Just draw yourselves a horizontal box. Encapsulate these wicks. There's a new word for you. Encapsulate as many of these wicks.
I love that. Okay.
The only thing, encapsulate. The only thing I can't do anything about, guys, is 10th of October. Can't do anything about 1010. It is what it is. There is obviously going to be some sort of liquidity there where we all got a little bit effed up. But that aside, assuming that that is some sort of abnormality, if we go back to the normal market, you can see you can pull these boxes right the way to the left. Your range trade is very simple. Start to enter at the bottom of these wicks, somewhere in the region of the 180 entry region. Your stop loss is below the wicks to the left, guys, at, let's say, 170. So 180 entry, 170. It's a bit of a stop, so maybe some low leverage, maybe a 2x. Get into the trade. Wait for the trade.
Sounds like a bot opportunity as well. Yeah, it sounds like
for sure.
Okay, so that's a nice setup, guys. Chaos is going to drop that chart in the 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏's Discord, and you'll find also a lot of higher time frame charts from me every single Monday in the 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏's Discord, and today was Monday, so I've updated a ton of those higher time frame charts, and you're going to find them all sitting in the 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏's Discord for you guys. Okay, so Chaos, thanks. 𝗫𝗫, please keep shopping here. You said there was, what was that one? Athena? What was the one?
Got you ENA, potentially Eigen, and BitTensor or 𝗕𝗹𝗰𝗍𝗲.
Okay. So yeah, keep me posted here if anything's going on. Okay, in terms of ETH, we have covered ETH in full. In terms of my Gravity trade, remember, guys, you can farm on Gravity. Remember, if you are trading on Gravity here, you are earning points, and you're going to get an airdrop of the Gravity token, and that could obviously be worth a few $1 along the way. Okay, so there's my ETH trade from last week. I gave you guys the limit order, 2,750. We waited for 5 days. It eventually hit the thing, and now it's bounced. Okay, so nice little patience play there for you guys. You can see backing the big zone and letting things just play out without getting too impatient here. And now finally it's turned nice and green after sweating a little bit for a couple of days. Now let's get into Solana. 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏 says 79.6% of SOL circulating supply is now at a loss. This is awkward. The bear market came way too early for many altcoins. Are we going to get SOL back at 30, perhaps? I wonder if it comes at some point. In terms of SOL level that I've been covering, I'm going to take off when entry on myself here because I can't win entry myself. SOL 129 is still our main support. Look at this candle close above that 786 foot. Okay, absolute cracker here on SOL, and you can see if the market manages to get a little bit of energy here, SOL's got a lot of upside. Okay, because you could quite easily see a pump into something like the 50-day MA as an example. We could easily see something like that before there is more downside. And what does that mean for SOL? You know, a ride up to 160 on SOL is something like 20%. Think about what that means for shitcoins like Popcat, 𝗏, 𝗬𝗵, what are all the other SOL ecosystem plays out there? Pump, think about that. And, you know, these things can run 30-40% to the upside if that is going to play out. So 129 for SOL, that is your main higher time frame support. Let's look at the lower time frame and look at this absolute banger. I mapped this out for the 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏's Discord earlier today in my channel there, and I said here, this is our local bull zone. What is a local bull zone? It's a combination of 382.5 VWAP horizontals, and if you're lucky enough, an order block or two floating in that area. Yes, 𝗕𝗫, bonk, absolutely. And SOL drops down into the zone, lands in the local bull zone, an absolute gun out of this area now. So what do we do? Okay, if you've managed to catch SOL in the bull zone and now things are getting momentum, remember, step one is let's not get too euphoric, okay? And step two, let's look for some exit plans or some possible short areas here of interest. So what I want to do here, just go locally into SOL and just start understanding where our big zones are. So I covered this one last night in the Sunday banger, and you can see I had double confluence in this region at 140 on SOL. This is our 786. This is a bigger 382 fib pool as well. So we know 140 is quite a big danger zone here for SOL. And you can see at the moment that VWAP is starting to creep down as well. Look at this VWAP that gave us resistance over here, and now it is floating in that region. So be careful. If SOL blows through 135, be super careful up here. 140 is a big danger zone there for me. As far as I'm concerned on SOL, we could see a rejection in that region. Now, in terms of slightly more local danger zones, look at this. Here's our 618. Here's our VWAP from the highs on the 14th of November, and that is 135. So two danger zones for SOL, 135, 136. And 140 look like trouble to me at the moment. Okay, if things start absolutely exploding, well, that's a bonus, obviously, and we'll talk about 146. We'll talk about 160 come tomorrow or whatever. But for now, guys, protect yourselves. 135, 136, 140. These are your danger zones for SOL. I would be super careful in that type of region here. And look, it is pleasant to see a little bit of a push out of the market. Now, there's a couple more I want to cover, and I still want to cover, very importantly, guys, tomorrow, I'm doing a leverage workshop. Okay, so you see me sometimes sitting in cross accounts, trading 100x leverage, 200x leverage. You've seen me in isolated positions with like $200 margin in, but like a $20,000 position. And you might be wondering how I managed to do that. Like, how do you do that safely? Well, my workshop tomorrow is all about that. It's an accelerator school workshop, and I'm teaching you how to do this safely with leverage. We're going to look at multiple exchanges, and I'm going to show you some tips and tricks on how you can play the game. So if that interests you, obviously the TA side, the accelerator course, will show you the basics, and then come to the workshop. If you sign up for the course, you will be invited to the workshop, and I'm going to teach you some leverage things. Okay, so the link is in the show description. Just go into the show, and let me actually just show you quickly. Go into the show here. Jeez, this Firefox. Okay, so you click on the show, and it's gone. Okay, where are we going to find this thing there? It always just, like, for some reason, it just keeps randomly replaying these things. Okay, there it is. So you go under the show doc, bang, there it is. And then you're going to find everything here to the downside. Okay, so to the downside. There, accelerator course. What do we got? Oh, TradingView's offering a Black Friday deal. We got chart hackers as well. All the exchanges that I talk about are here for you guys. Everything is here. Okay, that you see on the show is waiting there for you. Okay, let's get into Zcash. Okay, Zcash, very important one. This thing got everyone's attention. Chaos, don't run away, bro. Don't run away. What time is the workshop? That is 3 o'clock my time. So that is 3 hours ago tomorrow. 3 hours, 40 minutes ago tomorrow. James, can you work that out? What is that in EST? Eastern Standard Time. Can you put in your time thing that works it out? Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay, so Zcash, guys, got everyone's attention over the last couple of weeks. And the question I keep asking myself is this thing done? Like, is it time to move on? So Luna Crush says, after pricing moving up more than 1,400% in the last 3 months, Zcash took a break and price dropped 20%. Social activity remains extremely strong as the 5th most mentioned coin. Okay, ranking right after XRP and Doge. So the guys are still interested in this thing. My concern is that this trade might be done. Okay, and I think there is an opportunity here to get a really nice short on this thing if we can get it right. And what is getting it right? So for me, I kind of want to catch this on a euphoric pump when we get a hard move to the upside and then start building a short. My concern of trying to build a short now is that we might drop a little bit and then get some stupid pump here, and then they come down and kill us. Okay, so that is my current concern on the Zcash. So I am looking for a little bit higher on this thing. I'd like to see a euphoria pump, 680, 740, 760, even if they fake us out of this trend over there, and then some kind of drop to the downside. So I'm going to be tracking this one. I do believe, I personally believe that this thing is getting tired. And if you take a look at the weekly charts and things like that, you will note that the previous times we have seen this type of action on Zcash, we have had monster sells. Now I don't have the correct one here. Let me just get the Pionex one out here. Poloniex, that one. And you can see what's going on here on the Zcash, okay? Look at those monster sells once this thing starts pumping. Okay, there's the workshop, 830 EST, okay? So 700 to 800 is looking like the big band to the upside there. You can see that, and look how this thing has fallen over since then. So I believe this thing might be a little bit done. Okay, Chaos has covered really nicely there for you guys. This chart is in the higher time frame charts in the Chart Hackers Discord. Every Monday they get updated for you guys. I've got Pendle here for you. And this is an interesting one, and this is an exercise in patience for me, because looking at this, I feel like Pendle needs to come down to 1.8 for a solid entry. But unfortunately, that means we might be faced with a little bit more downside on this guy of about 20%. So it's not a nice thought. I don't know. Chaos, if you look at these charts, do you see some of this at the moment? Like, I'm seeing a problem on like AVAX as well. I'm seeing like even Tower, I'm seeing an issue. Where are you on something like Pendle? Can this thing just rip from here?
I think so. Look at the last 3 times it's done it. I mean, you're on the weekly there, right? We've tapped into this zone multiple times, and can you just make the screen slightly bigger? That wick from 1010, yeah, that dips into the zone again perfectly, doesn't it? So look, here's the thing. I think it wouldn't be out of the ordinary to suggest we dip back into that zone again for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th time. And it gives time for the weekly bullish divergence to play out, and then we absolutely rip. I don't know what, that's done it 3 times already. There's no
Yeah.
There's no reason why it can't go again, eh? Okay, it looks great.
So guys, an exercise in patience. I think, you know, like in terms of like a big trade on Pendle, like just this move to the 50-day MA is going to be 60%. Okay, if it goes to the 200-day, it's 100% move. So if we get a monster sell-off in the market, don't sleep on Pendle. Set your alarms 1.84 into 1.7. Set your alarms in those areas, guys. That could be a monster trade. Remember, we've seen the story so many times in the market. Remember the feeling. If you're feeling bearish now, imagine how you were feeling here. Okay, when was this? May to August 24. Imagine how you were feeling here up to February 25. This is the same story. Again, don't forget these feelings when you are feeling red and bearish and you want to give up. Look at that. Look what happens afterwards. Bang, bang. Okay, we're looking for the same play here on Pendle. Okay, so the pain based on Pendle, if this was our only guide for the whole market, based on Pendle, the pain is 20% more, and then we're good, okay, for a few months, basically. That is what we're looking at. Okay, let's talk Link. Also, this is very interesting. Okay, Chainlink reserves burning $1 million per week, converting enterprise revenue to Link tokens at 1264 down, blah, 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 blah. Fundamental, guys, I mean, frothing at the mouth. Okay, here's some info for you. But what I'm frothing at from a TA guy is, look at this. We've got double bullish divergence printing on Link on the 3-day time frame. Okay, if that doesn't get you out of bed in the morning, I don't know what will. So that looks good. I've never in Link's history, okay, on this Binance or the Binance chart in history, it doesn't exist. Okay, double bullish divergence on the 3-day. Tell me that is not a something going on here with Link. Okay, tell me you don't remember that Link sometimes rips randomly before the rest of the market. I don't know. Okay, so just remember, Link is looking good. In terms of where do we get the explosive move? Well, I covered this in the 𝗕𝗥𝗧 Discord this morning, but right now you can see 12 to 11.6. This is big support for Link. If the market comes and they do the nasty, okay, and they start coming for a flush, there's another 16% down for Link, and then I've got a monster entry for you at 10.5. But in terms of from a time frame perspective, the pain is nearly done. Okay, according to the oscillators, according to what we are seeing over here, we are getting super close. And in terms of a big move here for Link, it's either in that zone down to 11.6 or it's going to be down to 10.5. But it's looking good. Okay, it's looking good. If you want to try and snag an entry, same story, guys. You can see what I've done here. You can map out your bull zone. Okay, you can see what I've done here on Link. Grab your fibs, grab your VWAPs, create your bull zone. You can see that little reaction today off the bull zone, 12.2. And if you're trying to get a little scalpy on this guy that maybe turns into something a little bit more interesting, you can see Link is at resistance right now, 12.8. So this is obviously dangerous. So if you are nibbling at a Link position, you are buying it at resistance. Obviously, there is danger here. The upside can be potentially a little explosion through this zone, then the typical rejection, and you're going to look for the bulls to step in somewhere in that region over there. So if you're watching Link today and you are looking for some Link action, you want to see the pop through 12.8, and then you want to get 12.6 as your support based on what I'm looking at here. And then you are looking to send this thing to about 13.6. And after that, we have another discussion. And then we start looking and saying, you know, is this sustainable? Are we going to get this 30-40% move into the 16 level later on? Okay, so I'll make sure this Link chart is in the 𝗕𝗥𝗧 Discord for you. Remember, right now it's at resistance, so it could easily reject. Okay, what you want to see is the push through, and then you're going to get that support that you can try and use for your longs. And then we've got this nice bear zone up here, 13.6. Look at that VWAP as well. That could be resistance there on Link for a rejection as well. Okay, so look out for that one. Then Altcoin, lots of talk about Altcoin. Everyone's talking about Altcoin again. All the traders are talking about it. Wherever you look, people are talking about Altcoin. Nagel's all over this thing at the moment as well. And I've been covering this on the show last week in terms of big levels. And you can see, like, you know, we're looking for these big levels to give us nice reactions on these tokens. And right now, Altcoin is responding relatively well. Now, in terms of the amount of work it's got left to do, I mean, this thing, it could run another 30% to the 50-day MA. It could run another 90% to the 236 fib, or it could just roll over here and go back to zero. So again, it's anybody's guess exactly what is going to happen here. But in terms of playing the big zones consistently, we have seen once again that Fartcoin has bounced off this nice solid support base. Now, in terms of what has happened before at peak bearish scenario, look at that. We sold off all the way here. We jumped around on the support and then it pumped to the upside. Okay, and you had a sustained move on Fartcoin. Are we moving into the same scenario again? Maybe a few more days of chop and then some kind of pump. So I just want to highlight this one for you guys again. That big support is holding at the moment. And we've got, what is this number? 226 down to about 19, okay, as main support for Fartcoin, but a nice move so far. And for some reason, it's on everyone's radar, okay? I mean, the most bought token by smart money. Who's smart that buys Fart? Like, isn't this like...
Not me.
What? Isn't this like...
I ain't buying that shit.
Yeah, I ain't buying that shit. Okay, so yeah, that's that. Okay, now guys, let's talk pump quickly. And I still haven't given you the Black Friday stuff. Do you guys want the Black Friday deals yet? I've got 3. And one of them expires in, I think, 12 hours or something like that. Okay, so you got to brace yourselves. It's because it's going to expire. Okay, pump. If you're following me on X, okay, occasionally I just drop a little bit of sauce here for you guys. Here was the pump play, okay? I was talking last week about a pump into the bear zone, okay? Looking for a rejection there on pump. Then we got the rejection, and I was saying yesterday, okay, now we're looking for the bounce, okay? So pretty much the Kansas City shuffle there, shorts and longs and doing these things. And just in terms of higher time frame zones here, you can see that my only concern with pump at the moment is that we've got major support at this 225 region. Okay, so 225 is major support, and this tells me like if the market sells off, we might have a situation like with some of these other altcoins where we have to sell off a little bit more to the downside. Okay, so that is my only concern at the moment with pump. 225 into this 21 zone looks like trouble for me in that area. So one thing in the back of my mind, next hard pump on pump, maybe we need to start looking for some possible exits. Okay, so now we've got our bounce. It's fart or smart. Yes. Have you heard that thing? One smart fellow, he felt smart. 2 smart fellows, they felt smart. Have you heard that thing?
I haven't. No, but you're going to finish it for us, are you?
If you say that really fast. Say that really fast.
No.
One smart fellow, he felt smart. 2 smart fellows, they felt smart. Say that fast. Go.
Nope, I can't. One smart fellow, he smelt.
Thank you. Okay.
Nope.
That's the dad joke of the year. Okay, I'm done. I'm done with my dad jokes. Okay. 2-8. That's this guy's fault, whoever was in the chat. Okay. So let's go pump upside target 28, guys. I'm looking for a rejection at 28. That is obviously the target that I want to see play out. Now, you can see yesterday on the Sunday Banger, I gave the guys a local rejection zone as well. It was subject to these supports holding, and they obviously now have behaved themselves. So anybody trading pump at the moment, we are pushing into our danger zone, and there's a possible short coming here at anything from, say, 278 into 283. That's a possible short over there. And then if we do push a little bit higher, you're looking at 294 into 298 as possible shorts here on pump. So just exercise caution. I am still obviously long in pump at the moment here, and I see the stock. I've got to cover the stock. I'm trying to get something going on the stock here at the moment. So pumps, I'm 1,000 up here on pump at the moment, getting close to that that exit play now. It is getting around the corner. Okay, let's talk SPX. What's the story with SPX, James? Since we started watching this thing is ripping. Okay, it's like really behaving nicely. Look at this thing. It's broken the 12-hour trend here, and possibly, I mean, if the market behaves, I think SPX is going to blow up. Like, I think it's been so heavily shorted that this thing is going to squeeze. Can you check on your magical indicators what you're seeing there at the moment?
Of course.
James, any news on SPX? Why does it keep bouncing?
Yeah, not that I know of. No. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's doing that, but it's due, isn't it?
Super reliable.
You filled that wick entirely, did you?
Yeah, it's done. You know what I mean? It's like the next target is like up there, 92%, you know? Yeah, so I'm in round 2 on SPX. So I closed earlier, and now I'm in round 2 trying to get something going here on this guy. So, Chaos, are you having a quick look there on your indicators? Can you see anything interesting there?
I've got it open now. Yeah. The oscillator looks fantastic on this thing. I'm just on the 8 hour.
So what I want to do is let's get Chaos chart up, and then I want to just give the guys an exit plan. Like, if anybody wants to try this long, obviously, you know, you're dealing with a 12-hour candle that if it rejects, you know, it could be a hell of a stop. It could be a 5-6% risk here. But I just want to get Chaos's opinion on this thing. So I'm going to pull up your chart here. Okay, let's see what you got.
Just quickly putting up. Sorry, there's a lot of lines on the screen, guys, while I'm just going through. I mean, the thing with SPX, okay, so I'm on the 8-hour chart real quick. Let's just hide some stuff. There we go. So what I like about this, I mean, the first and foremost thing on this is, if you guys take a look at this cash flow, right? This is the cash flow wave that runs behind on our oscillator. What I absolutely love about this is we approach it. So this is the red sort of background that we've got going on here, guys. It's the money flow. When money flows into a coin, obviously the price goes up. And the last time we were red was this curve here. And then just about here, we went from red to green. And if you look up at the price action, you get the pump. Okay, so what I really like about this at the moment is where we are now. We've made our red curve. Granted, it's not always a curve. It can be a curve like that, or it can be waves. But at this point, we're just getting to the point where we can go green. And then you just got to look up here, grab yourself a long tool, just make that a little bit smaller for a second. There we go. Drop your long tool in and look at where we are. You've got the 100-day, got the quantum reactor, you've got the 100-day, sorry, the last one was the 50-day. You've got the point of control, you have the VWAP, and you have the 200. So any one of these points here, which is a huge resistance line, okay, if you drop the trade like this, I mean, that's a 6-to-1 trade. You need to start coming down. You target the 100-day. It's a 4-to-1 trade. You start targeting the QR. It's a 3-to-1 trade. Even so, this is a nice trade, guys. So, you know, from here to the lows, it's obviously a big move. So you'd want to be taking this on the spot. But, I mean, this is a potentially huge trade. So depending on what level you're targeting, guys, you know, this cash flow, money's flowing in. The RSI is green. We've had bullish divergence. What more do you want? Then there's a long coming.
Yeah, look, I agree. Just be careful with risk. Just be careful with leverage, guys. That's all you need to, you know, you need to be focused on here. But like, there is a possibility. Like, there's a chance. There is a chance that was a local bottom in the market, and this thing could rip like 30-40%. It's there. So if you want to play it, just play it safe. But bear in mind that Bitcoin can go lower to that 77 region I was speaking about earlier, maybe even dippier than that. And that means SPX is going to get nailed again, but that's going to be a recovery play that you want to look at then as well. Okay, there was a question about 𝗬𝗰, guys. I actually got a lot to cover here. I'm going to do 𝗬𝗰, and then I've got to show you these Black Friday situations. Now, here's 𝗬𝗰 on the 1 hour, and I don't know. I'm happy to long the top of this thing. I think we should have a crack here. 𝗬𝗰 has been so abused, like to the point where it's one of my favorite tokens, and I actually stopped looking at it because I was just so upset at how shit it has been. Excuse my language. Okay, so here's 𝗬𝗰. If you want to long the top, in fact, I'll long the top with you guys. Our exit is 1.394. So you can see there's a horizontal breakout. Okay, what is my risk? My risk is, okay, the risk is that candle losing the low. So it's a 2% risk. Okay, that's the safest risk I can give you. If you're using less than 2% risk, you are being even more degenerate than is what is approved by me. Okay, so 1.394. If you close under that, that is going to be a typical exit plan there. So let's go. Let's do some things on 𝗬𝗰.
Just uploading these charts right now to hackers, so they've got everything.
Okay, so I'm gonna start a 𝗬𝗰 position here. Okay, if it dips a little bit more, we're gonna add on any dips. Not $75,000. We'll go $7,500. Okay, so we'll start there. It's a little bit early for a 75K. Okay, so there's 𝗬𝗰, guys. Let me show you. So you've got the exit plan. You know what to do. Upside targets. Where can this thing go? Well, you know, the dream scenario is 1.66. That's a VWAP 382. That's a monster zone. In terms of local areas that you can get rinsed on, okay, just be careful there. That is one over there, 1.46. I would say probably look out there at 1.55, and you're looking out at around 1.6. So those are your upside danger zones, okay? And yeah, PMG George, I am long virtual at the moment. That is looking good to me. Okay, big area. Look at that. 89.4 looks nice. Okay, backup zone on virtual is 85, and then you got 62. So I am long on virtual at the moment. Exit plan is close under 85. Then I'm done. Okay, then I'm out of this thing, probably liquidated, whatever the story is, looking for this push up to 1.11. Okay, so SPX, I've covered that. Okay, so lower time frame, guys. SPX, Chaos covered you nicely. Look at that. Anyone surprised? Local bull zone coming into play again. And that VWAP 382 loving life at the moment. If SPX pops, where's our first lower time frame danger zone? Okay, bearish there. We're probably going to print more bearish divergence. So you're going to see another bearish divergence print over here at some point if it does reject. And that rejection zone is 559. Okay, so look out here. If SPX pumps, you're looking at your first local danger zone. 559 is going to be your problem area there on SPX, and all you want to do is just track this bull zone. So as this thing starts climbing higher, you're going to just drag that bull zone higher, and you're going to use that as your support until it eventually fails. Okay, so keep it as simple as that. So virtual, you've got, I'm actually long virtual here on Blowfin. Okay, and if it starts pumping, I'm going to start basically firing this puppy up for a little bit more action. Here's 𝗕𝗹𝗰𝗍, guys. I know Chaos says he's got a piece of this as well, but in terms of the lower time frame, I gave this to the hackers earlier today. This was the local bull zone, and I told them I was starting along here off this region after we had that little bounce. Okay, so 282 is your current support, but you can see this thing might be in a little bit of trouble if it doesn't get going soon, because we might just be in the midst of something like that with a lower high. Okay, so just remember, until we're out of the woods, like, we got to be a little bit cautious with how we are operating. We want to actually see a hard breakout and then get these things going. So 𝗕𝗹𝗯 282, use that as your support line. Look out for a lower high. That could be a little bit of a problem for you guys later on. And then here's STARK, STRK 134, major support for you guys. 134. This is a possible mover as well. I'd say 20%, 40% potentially if the market gets legs. Nice support, 200-day MA, macro 786, nice wick support here as well. So 134 into 131 looks like support here for STRK on the 8-hour. It is printing a little bit of divergence, but you could easily see over the next day or two some chop around and then another push on this guy. So something to watch, could be a nice upside push. Let's talk Black Friday things, because this expires in a few hours and you don't want to miss this, guys. Okay, Bitfunded, guys, 14 hours 56 minutes. Okay, there's a link in the show description. What is going on here? Number one, pay for 3 and get 6. Okay, they're also offering you 100% profit split. Okay, so it's literally like they're not making anything out of it. They are giving you this deal: buy 3, get 6, and 100% of the profit that you make is yours. Normally it's 80% of the profit you make you get to keep. This is 100%, and these things do not expire, and they will last you. If you buy a big bundle now, if you buy 10, 20, 30 of these things, you can use them throughout the year. It's not like they have an expiration date on them. So you can get stuck into these things here. It's a bundle, and this is Bitfunded. And remember, we've got a team in the Chart Hackers Discord, literally dedicated to you guys who want to do the prop funded trading. We've got a team in there, the Nagel and Kim Funded. Literally, that's her name, Kim Funded, and they're going to help you pass these Bitfunded challenges and show you how they go about it and how they do things. Okay, so they are there. We've got dedicated channels in the Chart Hackers Discord to guide you through this whole process. Okay, they are there to look after you, and that is that one. And then obviously the indicator pack, guys. Here's the indicators. Okay, 279 for the year. Okay, literally the entire year. We're talking about the oscillator you see on the screen, the order blocks, all these things I use on the show. A lot of these things from the accelerator course are in there, and a lot of the stuff from the team in the Discord, we have added a few extra indicators that the team uses in there, and you're going to have the Hackers Essential bundle. Okay, so that is 279 for a whole year for this indicator pack, guys. It's the Chart Hackers Essentials, and you can see what we've got in here. We've got the orb that Jay likes to use, and some of the other guys. We've got the prime levels, and I'm scrolling up here, so I'm going to read it to you there. You've got my hot zones. Okay, remember, it prints an eggplant when the price is in the hot zone. You got my hot zone pro indicator. My God, this thing is moving fast. You got the hot zone pro indicator. You got the orb, the prime blocks. the oscillator, the levels, the trendy that Chaos likes to use, and that point of control as well is in there for you guys. Okay, so that is that. And then obviously, guys, the Chart Hackers Discord, you can grab this thing now. Anybody that is buying this thing now, okay, if you are buying the Chart Hackers Discord now, you are locked in for life at $99. So if you want to pay monthly for the Chart Hackers Discord and the team and everyone that's in there, you will never pay more than $99. Okay, so you can get in there now on a monthly basis, or alternatively, you can buy it for a 1 year, and there it is at the moment. For the price is going up to $149, so you can buy this on the 1 year, guys, and it is $999 for you guys. Use the promo code Black Friday 2025. Okay, and there's a little bit of the things that we got going on there, and sometimes it's too much to even tell you what we are doing. Okay, but there's literally, like, Panda does trading psychology on a Saturday. Like, if you guys are getting rinsed, okay, like, Panda's there. Okay, he's doing psychology sessions with you guys. There's education. There's obviously signals that we send off there as well, including my When Entry channel that is absolutely cooking at the moment. Okay, so there's tons going on here in the Chart Hackers Discord, and the link for indicators in the show description. Go into the show description, click on more, and you will find it under the Accelerator School. Okay, so you can also then do the Accelerator course that will give you access, and it will also give you access then to my workshop tomorrow on leverage. Okay, wow, that is a lot of like non-altcoin breakouts and setups and a lot of Black Friday stuff. I mean, did you boys enjoy that? Like, that took my energy away. Woo!
Love it. Only happens once a year.
Jeez. Okay, I'm exhausted from talking about Black Friday deals. Okay, so 𝗬𝗯𝗟 we covered, stock we've covered. Asta might have a when entry coming, guys. I mean, this is also the longest show in history here. We've gone over 1 hour, wrecking it, okay? Asta, possible entry here for you guys. 1.0 for, I don't mind. I like sitting here. It's chilled, okay? The algorithm doesn't like it when I sit here for too long, but I like being here. 1.04, guys, okay? That is an entry zone there for me on Asta. Kind of being patient, just waiting for this one to come to me. Okay, that might even be a when entry that I dropped for you guys today. And then I just wanted to show you my concerns about AVAX. We haven't touched our big level yet. Okay, so 11.8 on AVAX, a little bit of a concern for me. XRP to the moon, $10 by 2026.
Same time that ETH's going to be 7,000 probably.
Same time. Okay, yeah, a little bit of strain on some of these alts, guys. They're at resistance. Just be careful with some of them. Obviously, don't get too euphoric. What do we know happens on a Monday? We have seen before on a Monday, things get a little bit euphoric, and then there's a rejection, and then we have a miserable Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So just look out for that. You know, light at the end of the tunnel could be a freight train. Just remember that if you're feeling a little bit euphoric. So if you get to nice resistance zones, which I'm going to do now as well, I'm going to bang out a couple of head shorts here in case they come and end us. Okay, so then at least we got a little bit of cover, and nothing wrong with a little bit of a TP along the way as well. Okay, boys.
Good luck, everyone.
Thank you, legend.
I've dropped a banger for you in Hackers, guys. ENA, come check it out.
There we go. Thank you, guys. Okay, see you guys tomorrow, same time. Workshop tomorrow. Don't forget, Accelerator School Workshop.